Auto insurance can all seem the same until it comes time to use it. So don't get stuck paying more for less coverage. Switch to USAA Auto Insurance and you could start saving money in no time. Get a quote today. Restrictions apply.
USAA. Vitamin Water was born in New York because New Yorkers wanted more. Like more flavor to go with all the flavor. A refreshing drink after climbing 6 flights of stairs to a walk-up apartment, or standing in the subway station in 100-degree heat. Focus when I have an 8-hour shift, and Triple X after I was out all night at a club. Call Triple X. Drink vitamin water. It's from New York.
Hilton brings you new ways to stay, with experiences that let you capture the glory days. Introducing the Graduate Hotels. Each inspired by local college towns, these stays are always original and never boring. Get in touch with traditions all across the country and enjoy a stay that's a class above the rest. Book at Graduate Hotels with Hilton Honors Points at Hilton.com. It's a win-win. Hilton, for the stay.
From the Fifth Quarter Studio in Madison, Wisconsin, you're listening to the Coaching Youth Hoops Podcast.
They're playing basketball.
Here's our hosts, Steve Collins, and Bill Flitter.
All right, welcome to Coaching Youth Hoops.
Coach, how you doing today?
I'm good. I'm well rested.
Good.
It's always a good thing.
Yeah.
Feeling like I've run a marathon. I got a new app. My brother sent me a new app, which is pretty exciting. It's called Stompers. This is not a promotion. Stompers. Okay. You should get it. You and I should do it together. It's called Stompers. Right. Stompers. Stompers.
All right.
And it's like it keeps track of your steps, and you compete against other people every day. So last night, my brother was beating me, and I only had an hour and a half. So I literally walked around my cul-de-sac circle until I beat him. Sure, he doesn't listen to my podcast. And then there's different things where you can jump ahead of people, and you can boast. Anyway, it was interesting. I used it yesterday. I just didn't want to lose. So I won yesterday with like 12,000 steps, but then my nephews are in Switzerland hiking. So they sent my youngest nephew on my brother's side sent one this morning, and he joined, and then he had 39,000 steps yesterday.
What?
He had 39,000 steps hiking.
Wow.
He's also like 20, he's 24. Like,
you can walk forever. Yeah,
they can walk forever. Like, I'm trying to figure out how many he had.
Oh, I love that. That's good. Yeah, I did
30,000 steps. So you and I will do a contest. Yeah. We'll start this and get us moving. But anyway,
the beautiful thing about it is I'm 2 hours behind you, so I'll have
but it stops.
See where you're at.
Time. So it's whatever. I don't know how it works. Yeah, I don't know.
Oh, interesting. So, but yeah, I've been averaging this month at least 10,000 steps. That's my minimum that I want to do. Some are higher, some are, I got 10,000, 12,000 days. But yeah.
I was telling Coach that during a normal school day, I walk 10,000 steps without trying in a normal school day.
Right.
So it's the summer. I got to work at it a little bit more. All right. So before we jump in today, we're going to talk about knowing the game, some of the specific rules and things like that and conveying them. Let's give a big shout out to Game Changer, Coach.
Yeah, coaches, go check out gc.com/coaching youth hoops. You've heard us mention this multiple times if you're a returning visitor to the podcast, but seriously, it's an app that I use to record stats for my players during their games. It also keeps track of your games in general, your schedule. Also, parents can see and grandparents can see games live when they can't be in person. So gc.com/coaching youth hoops.
Awesome. So Coach, we're talking about knowing the game.
Just knowing the game rules, right? And I'm really curious to hear like some of those when you were early coaching days, some of the gotchas. I mean, if you look at a standard rule book, the basketball rule book, it's I think 7-point type, and you know which one I'm talking about, that little one that you get. God, I can't even read half of that stuff, and there's type is too small. But there's lots of little rules and lots of misconception on rules. First, let's just talk about in general, though, before we kind of dig into some of the more specific things of you're teaching or you're coaching a young team, and there's a lot of rules that they could do or could follow, and you don't want to inundate them. Where do you start? Where do you start with that rule book?
Yeah, with the younger ages, you explain like the ball's got to go through the hoop, and this is the direction you're going, and that you have to dribble, and you can't run with the ball. I mean, there's some basic
Rules, yeah.
Yeah.
I don't assume they know the rules. I think that is the key thing.
Yes.
Don't assume that they know the rules and the interpretation. And that also includes the parents, for that matter, right?
Right.
The biggest, well, I'm just going to start with the biggest one I hear all the time is the over the back rule. I heard a great video on the quote unquote over the back rule. There's no such thing as it's not in the rule book, right? It was over the back. You hear parents yell that in the stands all the time. There actually is no rule if I can reach over the back as long as I don't displace you, right? So that's what they're looking for.
And trust me, I had some teams that I would literally have to yell, do not penalize my player because he can out jump the other player.
Right.
He would literally like jump over them and get the rebound and not touch them. That's not over the back. Like there's no, yeah, I know.
Yeah. But I think that the biggest thing from the rule standpoint is just communicating some of the basic rules, and to your player, especially, don't take for granted, that they're going to know the rules at a very young age. But some of the bigger ones, that can you press, right? What are the substitution rules? There's, leagues that have, equal play. So you got to be wary of
it's not
of
hockey,
those rules.
People. It's not hockey. You're not going to just run. I mean, I have varsity seniors and juniors in high school that will not even check in. They'll just like,
just run in. They're so excited to get in. It's a good point. Yeah, right. Yep.
So yeah. I mean, I'm going to tell you that we go through everything before the first game. Here's how the locker room's going to work. Here's how check-in works. Here's how here's where you go when you come out of the game. Here's how we and again, don't need to do this necessarily at the youth level, but I think it's a really good thing if you can do it, is the towel thing. We do the towel.
Oh, you do?
Do.
I see. Yeah.
Because the reason we do the towel, and we've gone back and forth between an actual towel and a wrapped up towel, but it's more I'm going to hand you something, and then I don't want 6 players on the floor. And it also makes them talk too. It's like, right. Here's a towel, you're leaving. Right. You can't play a game holding a towel. And, then especially when we're playing man and stuff, it's like, here's the, so I think that's a good thing to do. I think that's a
good little thing. Yeah. I see a lot of youth coaches do that. But yeah, that's interesting.
You can go on Amazon, buy some little towels, something. It's almost got to be a handing thing, yeah. But so tell them about our checklist too, because a lot of the stuff's on the checklist, Coach.
Yeah. Again, coaches, we this is we created this document because it's something that we wish we would have had when we started coaching. And if you go to coachingyouthhoops.com and /season-checklist, that'll give you a planning doc. It's free. It's about 280 some questions that to help you plan your season. Are you doing X? Are you doing this? This is one of them that's in there, which is, the rules, knowing the rules, kind of the processes around the rules. It asks you a lot of questions so you can kind of just think through the answers to those questions. So go check that out. Again, it's coachingyouthhoops.com /season-checklist. But so there's the rule. So here's something to think about rules. There's the rules of the game itself, and then there's your league rules.
Right.
Can you do zone offense? Can you press? Where do you pick players up? I manage 2 different leagues. One is you can't pick players up above the 3-point line, and there's no press rules. The other one is you can't run zone until I think like 5th or 6th grade it is. Yeah. So there's different league rules as well. And then I want to highlight something that you brought up, which is really important. Are you practicing the rules of the game, right, in practice? So when you're lining up for the free throw, are you monitoring when they're crossing the line, right? Also, otherwise, if you don't catch that in practice, it's going to happen in the game, and the free throw that they just made isn't going to count if they cross the line too soon. Entering the circle. We walk through even just like how to, the substitution rules. Go check, go kneel by the desk, wait for your turn, watch the ref, dribbling,
right,
pivoting,
just even the basic
traveling rules.
The basic beckoning. They have to beckon you in. I mean, again, not the hugest thing at the young youth level, but it's important to teach them, like, when you move up, you can't go onto the court until the official beckons you to come onto the floor. It's not like, again, it's not hockey, people.
Well, and the backcourt rule, right? Can't cross, so right. That's one that, the timing, right, to get across half court, all really important little nuances of the game that, you should follow, and communicate and practice during your practices, and at least, make sure they're familiar with it. Create a sheet, document on some of the very basic rules that they can follow, and maybe they can go through it with their parents, right? Just some basic stuff when they're learning the game. So watch basketball too, right? Watch it, and you'll pick up some of the little rules. Although don't watch NBA, because a lot of those guys are traveling
or international where they can goaltend and pop it off the thing.
Well, that's okay though if you're international,
coach, and
right?
tell them where they can find this stuff again.
Yeah, go to coachingyouthhoops.com/season-checklist. That'll give you a free guide to help you plan your entire season, postseason, preseason, in-season, everything you need to be a more efficient and effective coach, and keep your focus on the kids, not wondering what to do. We break everything down for you there. And then, just to circle back on the rules, I think the biggest takeaway is practice the rules. Go through some very high-level rules with your players, and don't assume that they're going to know all the little rules for the game. So, and you'll be fine. Know your league rules. Make sure you study those, because sometimes they're not the same. Make sure you get those.
I'm not sure all the coaches you play will know.
Right. Yeah. Yeah, exactly. Know your coaching box. That's the other one. I called somebody out on that the other day because they were literally on my side of the court coaching their kids past the half court line. And it was bugging me.
Don't assume anything. All right. Till next week, Coach.
Till next week, Coach.
This podcast is part of the Sports Social Podcast Network.
Lowe's knows you take pride in every project. So take on what's next today with a free Select Craftsman hedge trimmer or leaf blower when you buy a 20-volt push mower. That's a $119 value on reliable, high-performance Craftsman tools you trust. For the power to do it all, build, repair, restore, maintain, go with Craftsman. Available at Lowe's. We help. You save. Valid through 5/21 while supplies last. Selection varies by location.